we are tracking a massive, breaking development in the global digital landscape today. Bilibili, which is China's absolute giant of a video platform, is no longer content just staying within its own borders. They are aggressively building the scaffolding to expand their reach directly into international markets, and they are specifically targeting the West. Look, this isn't just some minor app update. This is a highly calculated strategic rollout, and it's designed to capture Western creators and viewers alike.
So you really have to wonder, could the next major rival to YouTube actually come from China? Well, Bilibili is betting the answer is yes. They are actively courting top-tier Western creators. I mean, names as massive as Mr. Beast have already brought their videos across to the platform. It's a direct challenge to the current video streaming hierarchy. And Bilibili is utilizing a very specific, aggressive strategy to entice the creators that fuel the entire global creator economy.
For the longest time, the biggest historical hurdle keeping Bilibili's international audience small was the sign-up process. Previously, uploading content from overseas meant you had to hand over a passport or a formal identity document. It was a massive piece of friction. But overnight, that strict identity verification process has just quietly disappeared for the global app. Under the new rules, it's entirely frictionless. You register, and you just start posting.
And wow, the immediate operational moves they are making to back this up are honestly staggering. They just relaunched their international app. It's already out on Android with iOS right around the corner, and uniquely, it mixes Chinese and global content together in a single feed. But here's the real on-the-ground push. They are building out a dedicated English-language website and going on a massive global hiring spree. They are actively grabbing community managers in Los Angeles, London, Mexico City, Sao Paulo, Istanbul, and Tokyo. Plus, they are hiring a team in Singapore to develop global AI-powered content moderation systems. They are laying down serious infrastructure here.
To really wrap your head around the gravity of this, you have to look at the sheer scale Bilibili is already operating at. As of the third quarter of 2025, they boast 376 million monthly active users. Let that number sink in for a second. That is a massive, highly active audience that international creators have literally been locked out of until right now.
And we definitely aren't just talking about passive scrolling either. They have over 117 million average daily active users. But the most incredible metric? The time spent. The average active user spends 112 minutes, so nearly 2 full hours a day on the platform, supported by 4 million monthly active creators. This level of engagement drove their full year 2025 revenue to over 30 billion RMB. Just to put that into perspective, that translates to roughly 4.2 billion US dollars.
All right, moving into section 1. What is Bilibili? The origins of B Station.
Before we look at where they're going, we really need to understand what Bilibili, affectionately known to its fiercely loyal fans as B Station, actually is. Founded back in 2009 by Xu Yi, it actually began as a super niche haven for Gen Z fans of ACG. That stands for anime, comics, and games. In its early days, it was essentially this scrappy site for teens to watch Japanese cartoons, many of which were totally unlicensed. But it wasn't just the videos that drew people in, it was how they interacted with them.
The platform's absolute secret weapon is something called Danmu, or bullet chat. Adapted from Japanese video sites, Danmu is a real-time commenting system. But the viewer text doesn't just sit in some static section below the video. Instead, the text scrolls horizontally directly across the video screen itself, and it is perfectly synchronized to the exact timestamp of the playback.
If you've never actually seen it in action, I'll admit it can look incredibly chaotic at first glance. But this quote captures the magic perfectly. The idea of bullet comments is to make users feel as if they are watching a video along with a bunch of friends. Even if you are sitting there watching a video alone at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, when you hit a funny or emotional moment, the screen literally erupts with synchronized reactions from thousands of other people who watched that exact second before you. It fosters an incredibly deep communal feeling.
But to protect that deeply communal vibe, they created an unbelievable barrier to entry. For years, you couldn't just sign up and start blasting bullet comments. No way. You had to pass a literal 100-question entrance exam. You had to prove your knowledge of ACG culture and community etiquette and score a 60 or above just to participate. While it sounds super restrictive, this friction is exactly what kept their 12-month user retention rates consistently above 80%. You had to earn your way into the conversation.
But look, you don't reach 376 million users by staying entirely niche. And this introduces what analysts call the commercial dilemma. As Bilibili's management pushed to attract mainstream, mass-market traffic to satisfy investors, it created massive friction with that original, die-hard ACG community. There was a real perception that the core culture was being sacrificed for corporate growth, which sparked huge debates online about the soul of the platform.
To satisfy those investors, the content had to evolve dramatically. They transitioned from those early days of pirate anime into a highly diverse, entirely legitimate ecosystem. Today, the platform is completely dominated by professional user-generated video, or PUGV. They host high-end documentaries, massive esports streams, and most notably, a wildly popular knowledge zone. It is now a prime destination for deep-dive educational content, where users go to learn about literally everything from science to international study abroad experiences.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is that this diversification paid off financially, big time. In fiscal year 2025, Bilibili achieved its first full year of GAAP profitability. They have become an absolute advertising powerhouse. Ad revenue surged 23% to over 10 billion RMB. Major global brands are definitely taking notice too. A recent Shiseido launch generated over 1.2 billion views. Even international universities are heavily using Bilibili's targeted video ads to recruit students, tapping into the fact that 91% of the platform's content is driven directly by key opinion leaders and creators.
Which brings us to Section 2, the road ahead. Exporting the culture.
That massive financial strength at home is exactly what's funding their ambitions abroad. But exporting a video app is one thing. Exporting a culture is entirely different. Their primary tactic right now is aggressive outreach. They have set up Discord channels directly targeting Western creators, and they are pitching Bilibili as this highly lucrative, completely untapped market. They are selling access to a demographic they describe specifically as Gen Z-coded, affluent, and well-educated. They are essentially telling these creators, hey, you've maxed out your Western audience. Come monetize our millions of highly engaged users instead.
This dynamic creates a truly fascinating standoff. On one side, you have YouTube playing defense. Reports indicate Google is actively working on deals to paid channels for exclusivity, keeping them from posting everywhere simultaneously, while also scrambling to bolt AI features onto their search just to keep viewers engaged. On the other side, Bilibili's playing pure offense. They aren't trying to beat YouTube on tech alone. They are leveraging their unique interactive community culture and directly poaching the talent that drives the views. But this aggressive growth leads directly into their biggest potential roadblock. As this report notes, growth invites the same questions that dominated years of argument about another Chinese-owned video app. We are talking, of course, about TikTok. If Bilibili's international app achieves even a fraction of TikTok's cultural penetration, it is virtually guaranteed to attract the exact same intense geopolitical and national security scrutiny from Western governments.
And you know, that kind of scrutiny comes with massive operational headaches. Bilibili is going to face strict regulatory calendars they've never dealt with before. Over in Europe, rules around algorithmic transparency and risk assessment are incredibly stringent, and the compliance thresholds trigger automatically the very moment your user counts cross certain lines. This is exactly why they are hiring that AI moderation team in Singapore right now. They know that scaling outside of China means navigating local content rules written by foreign regulators.
All of which leaves us with a final, really fascinating question to consider. Bilibili's success isn't just because they built a good video player. It's because of the deeply specific, highly interactive bullet chat culture it built over a decade. So, can a platform built on niche anime culture successfully translate that chaotic, communal viewing experience to a global audience? Or is that magic something that just gets lost in translation once it crosses borders? It's a massive gamble, and you can bet the entire creator economy will be watching to see if Bilibili can actually pull it off. Thank you so much for joining.